Coming up on Unpacked.
We are going to remove your womb. At the same time, they are putting me the drips. At the same time, I'm signing. At the same time, I'm vomiting. I'm confused. I'm sick.
When I told him that I was 17 at that time, so it was still unlawful for him to do that, he said my mom signed the consent form. So on the follow-up appointment, I went with my mother. My mother confirmed that she didn't sign any consent form.
Having your uterus removed under very suspicious circumstances, both of our guests are here to share their stories. Let's unpack. At the tender age of 17, Boksburg-born Bongekile Msibi fell pregnant and gave birth. After several trials to fall pregnant again later in her life, she visited the hospital that she had given birth at during her teens. It was here that she learned of the real cause of her inability to conceive. In 2019, at 22 years old, Nosiphiwo Gobo was excited after receiving the news that she was going to be a mother. Her joy was, however, short-lived when a series of complications that occurred on the day she gave birth shattered her hopes and dreams forever. These are their stories. Let's unpack. Welcome to the show, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us, Bongekile and Nosiphiwo. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start with you, Bongekile. Take me back to what your pregnancy journey was like.
It was a normal pregnancy. It was a teenage pregnancy. I was 17. I didn't know much at that time, but I know that it was a healthy pregnancy to the full term. And as far as I know, it was meant to be a natural delivery. And then when I gave birth, I remember waking up, I had a huge bandage on my tummy. And when I asked them what happened, they said to me, I delivered through via C-section because the baby was too big.
So wait, before, because you're saying you gave birth, you remember waking up. Usually with C-section, women are awake. So what happened with you going to the hospital? Like, what do you remember?
I just remember an ambulance picking me up and driving to Barra. I remember being admitted, and that's all I can remember. I don't remember the event of giving birth. I can't remember anything.
So now you wake up and you see that you've got a big bandage and you ask basically what happened.
I asked them what happened, and the answer that I got was that, everything went well. I just gave a baby through a C-section instead of normal birth because the baby was too big. And I didn't ask any question. I was just grateful that the baby is okay and I'm also well.
So now you've had your first child, and then what happens next?
And then I go home. My mom introduced me to contraceptives, and which I took for 11 years. During these 11 years, I didn't have my periods. It didn't bother me because even from previously, before I had a baby, my periods were not regular. So I just assumed that they're not regular, and also it's the side effects of the contraceptive. So I didn't really question, it didn't really bother me.
And what contraceptive were you on? Not the name, but the kind of contraceptive?
It was injection.
Injection,
yes.
Okay. So in that time, you weren't going for gynae visits or anything like that?
No, not really. I didn't really have any concerns. Everything appeared to be normal.
So what happened next?
And then I met someone, and we got engaged, and the plan was that we planning to have another baby. We tried to conceive for quite some few months, and we just thought it was just infertility issues, something that can be treated, because I knew that I could conceive, I could have babies. So I didn't really think much of it. I just thought the doctor would prescribe medication and I should be good to go and have a baby. Unfortunately, that's when I learned that I didn't have a uterus.
So you went now because you're trying to have a child. Was this you going to a gynecologist appointment?
Yes.
And when the gynae went to talk us through that appointment.
It was a normal appointment. I was just to inquire what could be the issue, possibly could be the infertility issues. And when the doctor did the sauna, he asked me when was the last time I was admitted, and the only time I was admitted before and after was when I was giving birth. So I remember he gave me a glass of water when he was done, and he asked me to sit down. And that's when he broke the news that the reason I'm not falling pregnant is that I don't have a uterus. This was news to me.
Was he
Devastating.
shocked when he told you?
He was shocked because when I walked in, he could tell that I didn't know. I mean, I walked in just thinking that it's infertility issues, only to find that it's bigger than that. And also what shocked him is that I didn't know all these years that I didn't have a uterus. So that was also a shock to him. And as a doctor and as someone that understands the meaning of not having a uterus to a woman, so he was also shocked why am I not aware? Because he asked me, how come are you not aware that you don't have a uterus? It's not just a thing, it's a uterus. And the only answer I could give him was that I was never told. I was not made aware of this.
What were the emotions that you were going through when he told you this?
To this day, I don't know what emotions. To this day, it seems like it's something that I just had because you can imagine you're living your life, you're continuing as if everything is normal, and then you hear this. I think the man I found out was what really shocked me, that so much gross negligence. No one bothered to let me know. And to this day, I still don't know why I was sterilized. So to this day, it's still a shock because I still haven't really had closure. I still don't know why. There's no reason. I was just told that we were saving your life, but from what? I don't know to this day.
So, Nosiphiwo, on your side, what was the story? What happened with your pregnancy?
Okay, mina sisi ukuqale last year. I gave birth last year, 2020, nge-9 August.
And how was the pregnancy?
Pregnancy I'm very bad because I was overdue. It was my first pregnancy. So I was.
But you were overdue how many weeks?
I think I was. I don't remember. I think I was 42, 42 weeks, 43 years. So unesi wathi kimi kuzomela ukuthi ngiye ebheka imlangeni it was on the 6th August last year. Wathi ngihambe ngebheka imlangeni, mangifika ebheka imlangeni bangitshela ukuthi abo doctor abekho. Okay, so bang injector, I don't know that injection.
Is it the one to induce labor?
Yes, to induce, yes, my pain, yeah. So, okay, and then bangi inducer, so gaqala ke ama pains ke. Maqala kanjalo, I think it was ngafika nge-6 name, then nge-7 ngalala. So ngalala nge-7 kulapho ama pains wami aqala khona. So maqala kanjalo ke na kulapho sengitshela amanesi ukuthi ngiyapainelwa.
So these are the contractions.
Yes. So mangiphainela kanjalo bangitshela ukuthi no. Manje thina senzeni? Buyela empedeni, yabo. Aqala ngawo ukumitha man, buyela empedeni sizobona ukuthi senza njani. Okay, ngaphinda futhi bangitshela ukuthi ngina 6 centimeters. Ngathi okay, ayisho ukuthi because angithi mawuzothola umntana kumele kube yi-10 centimeters. Ngathi okay, at least umntana uyafika usendleleni.
And were you alone at the hospital this time?
Yes.
Because it was COVID, no one's allowed with you.
No one was allowed. Even my baby was not allowed to come. Yes. So okay, then makusek fika ke isikhathi yena bangitshela ukuthi abo doctor abekho. Okay, fine, bangitshela ukuthi bangitransfere eBara. Hayi ngalinda i-ambulance for hours. But i-ambulance yeza sendleleni, ambulance yeza. Okay, fine. Ngalinda, I think until ngo-1 o'clock ebusuku. Kulapho i-ambulance seyifika khona and ngisema-painini ngaleso sikhathi leso. Abanandaba nami ukuthi kwenzakalani ngami. So ngingadli nokudla because nokudla bengingangeni. So okay, yafika ambulance, mayifika eBara mangifika bang-admit. So mabang-admitha kanjalo bangitshela ukuthi okay, thina sizokisa ewardini labantu abazoteta vele. Okay, fine. Bengena inkinga bangifaka emshinini ukufila i-heartbeat yomntana ukuthi umntana usadlala na. Yes. Mangifika bangitshela ukuthi okay ke uzolinda isikhashana abo doctor bayeza basendleleni bazocheck ukuthi kwenzakalani ngomntana wakho because sakubona ukuthi ngathi isikhathi sakho sesidlulile yabo. Ngathi okay. kwaba azange banginake while because ngikhumbula kahle like bengisengihlanya like I think I was depressed or what, I don't know. Hayi ngahlala isikhathi ngahlala ngibatshela ukuthi ngisemapainini bangifaka icatheter, I don't know, you know,
catheter.
Yes,
the one for your urine. Yes.
Bangifaka yona. Okay, ngabuza ukuthi for ini, bangitshela ukuthi hayi for ukuthi ungazichameli. Ngathi okay. Saturday ngaba in pains for hours. So ngaphaphama on Sunday on the 10th.
So this is now day 3.
Day 3.
Yeah.
It's day 3. So ngaphaphama nge 9. Sebengitshela ukuthi hayi sisi wena inkinga yakho kuzomela ukuthi sikise e-theater. Okay, ngathi
was the you were not dilating more, you were just staying?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Hayi ngafika ke ngaphaphama sengise-theater sekunabo doctor abaningi sebangisurroundile bangifakele injection le yakhona lena sengisembhedeni vele sebangilalisile. Then kulapho sebengitshela khona ukuthi okay kena sezisokutetisa nge-operation. Ngathi okay as long umntanami nje azophila, I don't mind. Then bangtetisa, that's when mabangtetisa like I was dizzy, umntana uyaphuma but akakhali. Ngizibuza and then what's happening nabo bazibuza ukuthi kwenzakalani ngami. Hawu kwenzakalani, why umntana angakhali? Okay bamphuthumise ku-nurse ebephambi kwami nje ukuthi unurse amphampe ukuthi azokwazi ukuphefumula. I think ngathi ama-lungs wakhe I don't know ukuthi bekwenzakalani, so akhale kancane umntwana. Bamphuthumise somewhere bangitshela ukuthi umntwana uyakuphi. Bamhambise ke kuleyo ndawo leyo ke. Okay bangistishe bangise e-ward, I think it's ward 16 mabazogisa khona ke ukuthi uyohlala khona so far so delivery umntwana. Bangisa e-ward 60. Mabangise e-ward 60, that's when ngibona abanye bomama baphethe abantwana babo owami ukuphi. That's Then udoctor wafika. Makafika uyangitshela ukuthi umntana wakho use-ICU. Okay fine. Angitshela man ngesilungu engingas-understand like ukuthi okay umntana wami use-ICU kwenzakaleni. Fine. And then that's when unesi sekaza isikhashanyane bekuyi-9 nge-Women's Day mangithola umntwana. That's when unesi sekaza kimi athi Nosiphiwo bayakubiza e-ICU. Okay doctor abesengi-explainele ukuthi kwenzakaleni but benginama-understand ukuthi uthini yabo ngalesi ngisi sakhe. Okay fine unesi athi asambese e-ICU bayakubiza. Bangibize e-ICU ngimbone umntwana nanya lapha embhedeni ulele. Okay.
And what was the state that the baby was in? Were there tubes and
there so many machines, the tubes, everything, bandage. I didn't understand what's going on. Okay, udoctor angitshele ukuthi umntana wakho uyagula, uphakathi kokufa nokuphila. Ngathi pudding ngisacela nje uzame by all means ukumphilisa.
And did they say why?
They explained to me, but I didn't understand because, you know, like, okay, fine. Udoctor wathi kimi sizozama ngakonke indlela ukuthi simsindise umntana wakho. Ngathi okay, ngabuyela back to ewardini lami. Mangibuyela back to ewardini. Okay, I think it was sekulate nyana nje. 2 hours back. Sebengitshela ukuthi Nosiphiwo siyakufuna futhi e-ICU. Kulapho ngibona khona ukuthi no man, there's something wrong. Ngithi okay ngihambe. And I'm still in pains. I can't even walk. Kuzomela ukuthi nge-ICU and i-ICU yakhona ikude. Abangithethelanga i-wheelchair ukuthi like bangipush ukuthi ngifike e-ICU but bengizokhela nje. Ngaya mangifika ngibona umntwana sebayamkhipha emishinini. And then what's going on? Umntana wami kwenzakalani bathi umntana wakhe akasekho. Kanjani? Bathi asikwazanga ukuthi simsindise. Ngathi okay. wangibuza udoctor ukuthi uyafuna na ukumbamba. I was like, umbuzo onjani loyo? Bengikhona eqaleni, why ubungangibuza ukuthi ngimbambe? Asaphila. Uyongibuza manje eshonile ukuthi ngimbambe na. Ngathi angeke ngize ngikhone ukumbamba. Wathi, okay, can you please sign here? Ukusho ukuthi like wena azange uvume ukubamba umntwana. Ngathi, okay. Ngasayina ke.
So who's the person that told you officially, or you just saw Hore, the baby's being disconnected, and only then they told you Hore, the baby's gone?
Only then they told me that the baby is gone.
And did they explain to say what happened?
No, they didn't. They didn't explain because ngithe mabaqeda ukungitshela sengisayinile mangisengiya back ewodini ngabatshela ukuthi ngicela phone call ukufonela because mina ngihlala nobaba. Ufonele ama-parent wami ukuthi umntwana akasekho so that sizokwazi ulungiselela umngcwabo. Bangitshela ukuthi we don't have a time. I was like, kanjani esibhedlela? You don't have a time. Ngicela usisi lo ebephambi kwami ukuthi ngicela ungifonise. Ngifonela ubaba umntanami. That's when ubaba umntanami sengimfonela ke khona ukuthi umntana akasekho. Ngicela nilungise, but okay.
And what did he say?
He was so heartbroken because umamezala wami ebefonile eqaleni because wabuza ukuthi uNosiphiwo right na bamtshela ukuthi utetile nomntwana right, which is they were lying bebanamanga. Abangazi nokungazi but suddenly uNosiphiwo nomntwana utetile all right. So ubaba nomamezala wami theme befika bazozwa kahle ukuthi kwenzekeni. That's when sebatatazela sebafuna uku-explain ukuthi hayi thina bese wrong saxolisa. Even the gown bengigcokile esibhedlela bonke ngithi basinika lama gown akhona, it was dirty kungcolile kunamagazi, banginikeze igown vele nje esingcolile yona already. Yacabanga sisi ukuthi iCovid. What if ibigcokwe umunye umuntu one COVID? So nami ngiyayigcoka futhi. So bangishintsha banginikeza entsha because babona abazali bami ukuthi naba bala. So umamezala wami wabuza ukuthi and then nina maningasifowuneli nisho ukuthi umntwana akasekho. Why nenza lokho? Hi, we are sorry saxolisa. Besingazi athi kanjani ukuthi beningazi okay umntwana ubulawe yini? No, umntwana ingathi isikhathi ibisesidlulile wakakela ngaphakathi. So wadla amagaga.
Ooh, so I think sometimes it's because maybe in the time where they were inducing labor, was it in that time that the baby was in too long? They didn't take the baby out fast enough.
Yes. So kulapho ke sesingicela udoctor ukuthi ngicela incwadi eshoyo ukuthi umntwana ubulawe yini. Then wanginikeza ke.
And what does it say there?
Iyasho ukuthi angazi ama-lungs wakhe. I don't know, like azange ngi-understand kahle but umuntu owazi kangcono like ubaba umntanami because ngibe ngamnikeza iletha wangifundela ukuthi kwenzakalani. So ke ngacela udoctor wami ukuthi ngicela ukuthi kuyongcwaba umntwana. Wavuma ke udoctor wami ke ukuthi ngiyomngcwaba umntwana. Then ngamngcwaba nge-14 zika-August umntwana ke.
Was it a boy or a girl?
It was a boy.
Did you give him a name?
Yes.
What was his name?
Siyamthanda.
I'm very, very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Sure. So you at least got an opportunity to give him a send-off.
So I buried my child. So I went back to hospital on the 17th. Uyoqhaqha itishi zami. Bathi ngiphinde ngibuye uyoqhaqha itishi. So mangiyoqhaqha itishi, that's when indaba iqala khona sebengitshela ukuthi because I think ngaleso sikhathi leso bengivomitha into egreen. So abonesi bengazi ukuthi benzeni, so babiza doctor wafika wangitshela ukuthi they must take me to high care. So I went to high care. Mangifike high care bebengisurroundile bangitshela ukuthi kumele ngene kusona. So uma ngingena kusona kwafika omunye udoctor wathi, can you please sign here? Akangi-explaineli ukuthi ngisayinani. Then nami ngangithi ngifuna ukuphila. Ngiyasayina. Okay, angibatshela ukuthi bengisacela ukufona kwenzakalani la. Bangitshela ukuthi no, lana we are going to remove your womb. Isibeletho. And then why? What happened? No, if we find something lana kuwe ngazi ini. I was like, and then okay, why ngicela ukushonela umntwana? Mina ngene khona ukuthi like inisclean at least ke. But no, we have to remove it. We have to remove your womb. And I was like, why? Why? But hi sisi, asazi nathi sizozama ukuthi explainele later. At the same time, they were putting me the drips. At the same time, I'm signing. At the same time, I'm vomiting. I'm confused. I'm sick. Then I went to theater. That's when they removed my womb. It was like, why? Why? They are doing this to me. Why?
What did they say when you woke up? What was the first thing that they said to you?
Nosiphiwo Gobo, we have removed the womb. Don't worry. Adoption ikhona. I was like, adoption? Ubante mina bengifuna adoption. Adoption ikhona. Even the counseling, sizocancela. I was like, why you are doing this to me? Why nikwenza lokho? But no, sisi, if ngabe asikhipanga isibeletho, it's either you'll be paralyzed or ushone. Ngisi how kanjalo nje cause ngikhumbula kahle high care ngafonela ubaba. Ubaba, that's when ubaba ma collapse cause bekasemsebenzini. Uqeda ukungcwaba umzukulu, so ebezongcwaba nami futhi. That's when ubaba mse collapse cause ngikhumbula kahle ngicela ukuthi ngicela ngifonela abantu bomndeni. So kulapho nesi ethi kimi, hayi asinayo thina airtime ukufona. Then udoctor wanginikeza ifone yakhe. Wathi ngicela ufone bamba, fona ngeyami ifone. Ubaba wa collapse cause ubaba azange asho ukuthi hayi mntanami you can remove the womb. Uvele wa collapse njengazange angiphendule asho ukuthi yenze leyo nto leyo. So bona bayasenzile isinqumo sabo bona bodwa. I understand. Yes.
So now you have, they've operated on you. You didn't understand why, but they said, Hore, either you're going to be paralyzed or you're going to die if we don't. But did they explain what had happened?
No, they didn't explain to me what had happened. They didn't. Because I remember udokotela ube wathi kimi if siyakhipha lesibeletho lesi uzokwazi ukuthi uphile isikhathi eside and ukwazi nokuthi uadopte uthole nabanye abantwana or there is IVF. Yes. So ngazibuza ukuthi kanjani IVF ifuna imali. Mina I'm still a student ngisafunda ubaba umntana makasebenzi so ngizoyithatha konke lokho. Yeah, then
And you are how old now at this time?
I'm 24 years.
You were still young, yeah.
I'm still young. So they didn't even care about my age because I even told them I am still young. I know. Don't worry, you are going to be fine. Even now, I'm still not okay. Because they have been saying to me, we will prepare for you for counseling. Even now, I'm still waiting for their call since from last year.
Sure.
For counseling. So whenever I feel sad, I want to talk, I go to my son's grave and talk to my son. Or my baby's father. Only because ubabami asumuntu ongangi-understand because ngihlala naye mama washona, yabo. So ezinye izinto angikwazi ukuthi ngikhulume naye.
And your side, Bongekile, I'm just wondering, Hore, you reached a point where you've discovered your uterus has been removed. What happened when you went back to the hospital to try and find out, guys, what happened?
So the very first step that I took, I remember it was the 20th of December, 2016. I wrote to the Minister of Health. In January, they responded and they said I need to go back to the hospital because it's a provincial hospital, not a national. I went to Bara. I lodged a complaint through the quality department. I met with the senior gynecologist. He said to me he was there, which I know for a fact it's a lie. He was not there because he had so many different stories. The first time we met, before he could tell me what happened to me, he told me a story about a friend of a friend that was operated, that signed a consent form, but when they woke up, they didn't remember. A story that didn't make sense. And he said to me, he was there, I signed a consent form. And I said to him, still, it was unlawful for you to do that because I was 17, I was a minor, and my parents were there all the time.
What does he mean, signed a consent for what to happen?
To remove the uterus.
And what would the reason have been to remove it?
He doesn't know himself, but he said he was there. That's why I'm saying to me, he was lying to me. He was sent to do damage control. When I told him that I was 17 at that time, so it was still unlawful for him to do that, he said my mom signed the consent form. So in the follow-up appointment, I went with my mother. My mother confirmed that she didn't sign any consent form. He then said he wants to run a health of my eggs to check how healthy are they. He did. On a third follow-up meeting, he said my eggs were healthy and I do have an option for a surrogate. Something similar to what they did to her. They suggest their second-hand solution. They don't give you the answer that you are looking for. Because I remember saying to them, if you can prove to me that you are saving my life, I'll be grateful. And I would like to meet the doctor that made that call to thank them for making that call because my daughter would have gone out to an orphan. So there's no one that knows exactly who did that because, I mean, hysterectomy, it's not a procedure that you just decide to do it. There are various people that needs to be consulted. The hospital superintendent, they don't want to tell me who was that. Fast forward, there is a legal lawsuit against the department.
But before the legal lawsuit, just so I understand back to that process of you consulting to find out what happened, what were the medical records saying?
They're not there.
So why are they not there?
They according to them, they have a policy that after 5 years, documents need to be destroyed. But now the funny story to that is that there is the first page that shows that I was admitted on this day and I went home on this day. But the information as to what happened, it's not there. Another suspicious thing is that I went back again and when I got there, you can tell that the documentation is fabricated. The information, the dates and everything now has changed. And when my attorney was the one that was looking for this document, they said there's nothing linking me to the hospital. But when I went on my own, I did find those 2 pages. And there is a doctor here that says to me, I was there. And to me, he's a missing puzzle to this puzzle. He can give me all the answers. If he was there, if he can remember vividly after 11 years that I was there and I signed the consent form, surely there are other details of the day that he can remember. He should be able to pinpoint who was the hospital superintendent at that day, who was the head doctor. He must have details. So to show that they've been doing this and they've been getting away with this, to me, he's the trusted one to do the damage control. And like she said, he said to me, we can write you a letter to Steve Biko right away. You can go and have a surrogate child. And I'm not here for that. I'm here to understand what happened. The idea was not even to sue the department, but I wanted to know what happened to find closure. They pushed, how they handled the whole situation, they pushed me to end up suing the hospital. And I'm glad they did that because had they not do that, I would have not did the way I did. They came back and they said to me they're defending the matter in the court of law. And to me, it didn't make sense. You're wasting taxpayers' money. This is very obvious that it's negligent. You don't have my files. At first, you deny that I was ever admitted in this hospital. There's so many stories that don't make sense here. There's a lawsuit. My matter was referred to mediation. mediation happened, and the department said they can't take accountability because my documents are not there. So prior the mediation, when I realized how they were treating my case, I then thought to myself, surely I'm not the only one with this issue. And then I went openly to social media about my stories. That's when I discovered we actually have a group that I founded for support group. Nosiphiwo is in that group. I think it's about 60 to 70 women that were sterilized. There's a new person every day. And that tells you that this is not something that was happening in the olden days. It's still happening to this day. And someone knows something, and someone is not willing to say anything.
So what would you like to see happen? What is the ideal outcome for you? Because obviously your uterus can never be given back to you. You can't get your womb back. What would you like to see happen?
Everyone that is implicated in this, they need to be crucified. They have committed crimes in our body. They need to be jailed. They need to be removed from the role because it seems like now it's a norm. The very first option that they all jump to is to remove uteruses, and sometimes they remove them under false information that they give to patient. In our support group, there's a girl that was sterilized when she was 15, and she was told that if she does not remove her uterus, she'll never be able to walk again, which is a lie. There's no such. She was told that at some point after a few years, it will grow back. It's a lie.
Wow.
It doesn't happen. So they undermine a Black woman to that point that they tell you that your uterus will grow back, you will have your periods at a later stage. Yes, they are doctors, they are qualified doctors, they know, and they know the after effects, especially the emotional side. As she's saying that she still needs someone to talk to.
Okay, so from your side, Nosiphiwo, what do you hope to happen in your case?
Into engiyifisayo ukuthi first thing ngifuna ukuthi bangenzele i-counselling. Kube khona i-counselling because ngiyayidinga i-counselling. Ngiphinde futhi like kube khona usizo engilincedayo engitholayo about i-adoption. I can prefer anything.
Even surrogacy?
Even surrogates, it's fine. Anything. Into engizokwazi ukuthi nami mangivuka ngithi ngemsebenzini ngazi ukuthi ngivukela somebody.
Because you want to be a mother?
Yes, because I want to be a mother. I love children.
Have you been checked to see if your eggs are still being produced?
No, I haven't.
So you still need to go and check?
I still need to go and check.
What if they said, when was your last physical checkup to see how you're doing since? Because obviously when they take your womb out, your hormones change and things like that.
Yeah, okay. So I need to see there was a dressing ebesiyenza from Ebara. So my last checkup, it was on July. So baby ngekangitsheli about my eggs ukuthi kwenzakalani because Ebara they just open your womb, they clean it, then bese bayayivala bakufaka ibandage. That's all. Kuphela nje.
What do you feel you've been robbed of in this experience? My womanhood. I can't even describe it. They took a part of me that can never be replaced. It's difficult to explain. My life has been minimized so much that not so long ago I met a guy, and when I told him my name, he said to me, "You sound familiar. You know, are you that girl that was on a certain radio station talking about her womb being removed?" So our lives have been minimized to that extent. We are robbed of so much.
And I mean, let me say, I am very sorry for what the both of you went through, and condolences to you for, you know, the loss of your child. That's extremely devastating and traumatic to have gone through, and then to go through what you went through. I do agree with you. You were both robbed. And it's a pity that there are scenarios where medically it is justified, like you said, saving a life for you to have your uterus removed. But in the case of the both of you, things were not explained accurately, things were not explained fully, forms are being signed or not being signed or saying they're being signed, things are not being explained or communicated or justified. And that in itself is completely unfair. And I think that, you know, after a conversation like this, there are probably other women who are watching who may have gone through a similar experience that can definitely relate to what you're sharing. Definitely. But thank you so much, ladies, for coming to talk to us, for sharing your stories. And I hope that this issue does get resolved and you find the peace and, you know, get to become mothers again in your lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Hashtag Unpacked with Relebogile. It is a massive, massive theft and a massive, massive trauma to have your uterus or your womb removed, especially under the circumstances that we're talking about today. Many women have gone through this in their lives and are probably not even able to articulate the kind of loss that they feel, let alone just being the young woman that we're speaking to today. But we already have, you know, one woman who has already lost a child. And I think that in itself is extremely painful. So, you know, my heart goes out to each and every one of you who have gone through this type of experience, especially if it comes at the hands of medical environments that were not explained to you, or you sitting here with answers, with questions, let me say rather, that don't have answers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you stay in touch with us. Details are on your screen. Have a good night. Next time on Unpacked.
Happy family. You wouldn't say that our family was broken. He called again, and that's where he said his last goodbyes again to my aunt. In the background, my aunt could hear the kids screaming and my mom screaming. It's something that no 12-year-old or any person should experience.
Thank you so much for watching Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. Make sure you subscribe to my channel where you can get to watch more episodes. But more importantly, you can be part of our online community. Comment down below, share with us who you'd like to see on the show, what story you'd like us to discuss. We love engaging with you. Keep it coming and don't forget to subscribe.